Hi everyone, welcome to my video. A thing I didn't mention in my previous videos is that I am going to an art school now, an actual art school, and lately they had us make an exercise where we have to design characters, and the professor explained a few character archetypes. In this video I'll just make the protagonist, but I plan on making other videos where I draw the rest of the characters. So in this video we're focusing on the hero, the old magical lady, the funny fat guy, and the nerd friend. And I hope you like it, and I hope my delivery isn't too awkward. This is my first voiceover, so let's get started. So this is our hero. He is inspired by a bird, as you will see, and he's not only a bird, but he's actually a crossbred. So he is both a crow and a snowy owl. So when I design characters, I always like to imagine a story for the character. Otherwise, I can't focus at all and I get lost immediately. So this little fella, I don't have a name for them, unfortunately. So this little fella is the hero, as I said, and he's the son of the bad guy, who is a crow, and the lost queen. The lost queen was a snowy owl, and the bad guy is a crow. So he's mostly he mostly looks like a crow, but he has some white spots, as you will see soon enough, on his hair and on his feathers. So his father is the main villain of the story I made. So, well, I didn't actually have to make a story. So the professor gave us a story where the hero has to save the princess, and that's it. Anyway, the bad guy is a very well-respected figure, used to be a very well-respected figure in the kingdom. And he used to be the main sorcerer for the king. And he fell in love with the queen while he got to know her better, and so, well, they had a child together. The hero is aware that his father is the bad guy. What he did, after he fell in love with the queen, he decided to make a plot where he would take down the king and be the king himself, and therefore he was punished. And the hero does suffer the consequences of it, because he has a spell on him that actually keeps him from using his wings. So in the story he will not have use of his wings until the ending, basically. And he's actually very stoic. He knows that his father is a bad person, and he tries his best not to be like him. And so this whole journey he goes on to save the princess is actually a journey where he wants to prove that he is not as bad as his father to the king. Also, the princess is kind of a younger sibling to him, because they basically grew up together, but he wasn't really allowed to be a princess because he is crossbred, which is deeply, deeply frowned upon in the society. So he also wants to prove himself, and to show that even being a crossbred, he can be whatever he likes and be a great person anyway, because there's a stigma. So here is the hero. I hope you like him. Next up is the old magical lady. For her, I actually don't have much backstory, so I'll just explain what actually inspired me to draw her. The little story I thought for her is that she is the sorceress of the kingdom now, instead of the bad guy, of course. And she is mainly the wise character that will guide the hero through the story, maybe giving him also cryptic clues to where to go, or certain answers to riddles or such. And she actually is inspired a lot by Madame Rez from She-Ra. You'll see this in the coloring. I really like her color palette, and she's really great. She isn't as loony as Madame Rez, but she does have the same color palette, and she was very inspired by her in her design. So she is field elf. She mainly does spells with flowers, and her wisdom comes from a long sequence of legends that have been told through the centuries. So she knows a lot about tradition and such. So here's the coloring. I actually struggled a lot to make her dress, and I'll change it just last minute, and then I'll decide that I like it. So I actually went with a whole different path that I had originally in mind. Originally I wanted to have the center dress like this deep red color, but instead I will go with this teal. I gave her a pair of square glasses, both because they implement the old lady look, but also because the square shape does kind of break that big circle pattern that she has in her hair. So here's the magical lady. I hope you like her. Now the funny fat guy. So I decided to make her a girl because it's kind of overused that the fat guy is always a guy. And well, despite what my professor said, I decided to make her a dwarf. So my professor said that usually the funny fat guy is usually very tall and kind of intimidating, kind of a gentle giant kind of situation. But I didn't want to use the stereotype, so I decided to make a funny looking character without it being a giant. So I decided to make the actual opposite of it and make a little dwarf. Anyway, she is just... This is another character I didn't really care enough to focus on the backstory, because I kind of had the whole image in my head. And she is just a dwarf that works in the mines of the kingdom, and she probably just meets the hero while he's on the way, and she probably guides him through whatever mountain passage he comes across. So that's literally it. I will focus now on the design. So she is actually inspired by two characters that I've read in comics, and another Shiva character because I'm obsessed. So she is inspired by Frosta. You can see it in her hair, and I decided to use the colors from the comic I read. That is called Coma. It's an indie comic that I really like. And again, I used the hair lupus from the character of the comic, and used the general tone and clothes of that certain comic. So I decided to make a character with earthy colors, and this was the result. I really hope you like her. Last one is the nerd guy. So he was actually based on a red wolf. I originally thought of making him a fox, but I didn't really like the idea because foxes, while they are known for being pretty smart, foxes are also often accustomed with mischievousness and treachery, and basically they're not seen as positive figures. So instead of making him a fox, I decided to make him a red wolf, because, well, the fur color does resemble a fox, so it does seem that he kinda looks like one. So I hope they will automatically assume that he is as smart as a fox, but I chose a wolf instead because in various cultures, the wolf is actually the symbol of reason. And also, wolves are usually known for being particularly wise and extremely good at teamwork. I mean, they have a whole system in real life where they can easily hunt down prey. Anyway, I was originally planning to use the actual colors of the fur, but it didn't really look well on the character, so I decided to pick my own browns and reds. The clothes are what gave me the most trouble while coloring. I wanted to use a kind of futuristic blue, but it didn't really look well with the red fur, so it gave me a lot of trouble. I decided this futuristic colors because he is much smarter than everyone else. so it just seems fitting that he has kind of a more advanced look than everyone else. So here's our nerd guy. Here's the colors that I actually picked. I hope you like him. So these are the characters I made. They're nothing special, but I really had fun making them. This was a really good exercise for me. I really hope you liked the video. See you next time!